Good evening, everybody. Well, we're back for Scotland versus England. Now, the reason I'm doing this again is because it was quite successful, believe it or not, on Friday, wasn't it? With the most boringest games, though, wasn't it, between Ukraine and England. But we're back for a much, much more exciting game. Scotland versus England. Well excited about this game. This is what international football is all about. Unfortunately, it's a friendly, and a couple of things to talk about. First of all, the team. Just before we start on the team, I can see a few things saying about Arteta and that in the chat. We'll get to that in a minute. But Gareth Southgate, I am getting to the stage now where he's just I can't stand the man. I just can't stand him. I can't stand him. I think just go back. Doesn't Ben White doesn't get in this team because he plays right back and for Arsenal and not central defence And here we have it today. Good old Trippier, Kieran Trippier, who plays right back for Newcastle, but today he's playing left back for England. This is what is unbelievable about him, man. Just carries on with his lies and his rubbish talk. Phillips is in today, and I'll be really honest. Harry Maguire and Phillips, I think they should play today. Do you know why? Because all the club managers, they ain't got to worry about it at the weekend with an airplane. I'd like to have seen Phillips play today and Rice out. Oh, no. It doesn't happen, And Maguire, well, he's rested. They've rested Maguire. Got to give him a rest so he can be on the bench for Manchester United at the weekend. Pathetic. Here he is. He's on telly now, you know what I mean? One of those little tops that he's got there, I'd never wear one of them, because it would remind me of him. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to a wedding now, I don't know if I could wear a waistcoat because it would remind me of him. You know what I mean? I certainly wouldn't grow a beard or anything like that. But there you go. I just can't stand a bloke he has done us a favour today in one respect, though. He has left out. He has left out Saka from the side, so thanks for that. Maddison not in the side as well. I know he plays for Spurs and everything like that, but hardly ever really plays that for England and deserves his chance and everything like that, but doesn't get in today because Phillips does. So why not bring Maddison? Why couldn't you have today played Phillips, Bellingham and Maddison in that midfield, or even play Rice if you want to, and Bellingham and Maddison in that midfield. I just Bellingham playing in a position which is his best position. I'm not so sure about that. I'll be honest. I quite like wherever Bellingham plays. If I'll be honest, he's a wonderful, wonderful player. But I think he's better as an 8, and Maddison better as a sort of that in between player. But he plays him out on the wing, guys. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It really is something to be able with this manager now. The sooner we get rid of him, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I actually believe that England would have won the Euros and the World Cup if we had a real top class manager. I just think he's holding us back in the team at the minute, So team today, I'm just going to do this off the top of my head. I haven't got it on there, so I'm going to just go off the top of my head what I can remember it was. It's Ramsdale in goal. Big up to Aaron Ramsdale making an appearance today. I think that's a good call. I think that I think he's been in the last 3 World Cup or Euro qualifiers now. He's been in the last 3 or 4 squads, not got a game. So I think that's good news for him there. Right back, who is at right back? That's completely gone out of me head. Who's at right back? I'm going to have to get that up. Someone tell me who's right back. I know it's not Trippier because he's playing left back. Dunk is playing, isn't he? Walker is at right back, isn't he? So Walker plays. Again, we talk about Walker a little bit. We all know what he can do and what he can't do. Been fantastic for England over the last few times. Do we really need him into the side? I think he's really, really good, but could have put another right back in there. Could have put Ben White in there if he chose to. But we know that now he's not for footballing reasons. Dunk gets a chance today, so that's good for him there. Cheers, James, for putting that. Jamie, for putting that team up for me there. So it's good. Guy at the back with Dunk and Trippier. Rice, Phillips, Foden gets a chance of playing on the right, I'd imagine. Bellingham and Rashford on the left-hand side, and then Bayern Munich's, yes, I'll say it again, Bayern Munich's Harry Kane up top, and he'll captain the side. Scotland, by the way, have been in fantastic form, and they're really up for this game. I don't say that I know too many Scottish people at this moment in time, but what I've been seeing on social media, on TV, and everything like that, people are thinking that they've got a very, very good chance of. They feel that they've got a good chance of beating England. I think they've beaten England once in 34 years. Can you believe that? So we'll have to wait and see and go from there. Now, listen. Before we get ready for the Scotland game, let's talk a little bit about the Arsenal. While we're here, of course, massive game coming up on at the weekend. My first and foremost, it's about internationals and everything like that, is that we just get everybody through the game. There was that little bit of a worry with Gabriel, but I understand that he has trained since coming off after that knock, so hopefully all of our boys will be back in the team and back home safely and available for the weekend. There was a question, I don't know who it was that. Do I think that should Mikel Arteta be sacked? Under no circumstances do I think that Mikel Arteta should be sacked. A couple of years ago, I think there was an argument for it, and I wouldn't have been against it. And actually, I felt that he was very, very fortunate to get his job. But for the last year, 2 years, I think he's done really, really well. Yes, we haven't won nothing. I get that, but we challenged for a title, which we haven't done for a very, very long while. And to be honest, I'm going to really say it, guys. Going to the Emirates at the minute and going up and down the country following Arsenal and abroad, I'm quite enjoying it. I'm enjoying the football we're playing. Maybe not so much this season because of the couple of little things that he's tinkered with, but it was certainly back to its best on that Sunday against Manchester United. Fantastic atmosphere. I'm enjoying the football. Let's see how it goes. See where the manager takes us this season, and let's all get behind him. And that's it. Arteta has taken us 8 years backwards. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, when Arsene Wenger left, we wasn't in the Champions League. Stan, we're back in the Champions League now, so I don't really see that. We've also won an FA Cup in his tenure, and I think that there's been significant improvement every season. Look at the players that we've got at the team now to it was 4 or 5 years ago. Let's be honest and be really honest about it. I love every one of them at this moment in time. I couldn't say that 4, 5, 6 years ago, so a little bit harsh, but listen, I get everybody feeling a little bit about what they think about the manager. But for me, I think with Havertz as well, let's just give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt and see what comes on from there. The teams are coming back out. Thomas Partey, whether he'd be available for Spurs, don't know. But I'll tell you one good thing about Thomas Partey. At the moment, I'm a big Thomas Partey fan. Every time he's been left out of the side or injured or whatever, I've had a mini meltdowns, mini breakdowns, should I say, when he's not been available. Didn't have that on Sunday when he wasn't playing because Declan Rice was in the side. So I feel a lot better because of that. So, but obviously you want all your players available and fit and well as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that Partey will only be out for another couple of weeks, and let's hope that he is available for the Spurs game. Of course, massive week for Arsenal coming up. Everton on Sunday, was meant to be on a Saturday, messed my plans up completely, but it's now on a Sunday, and then on the Wednesday we have PSV, and then of course on the Sunday we have Tottenham. Key game that in the midweek, of course, while we're playing that Champions League game, which I'm delighted was at the Emirates. I was praying it would be at the Emirates because of this game against Spurs the following week. And we've got that there, but Spurs will be all nice and fresh. So it'll be an interesting and intriguing week coming up for the Arsenal, because I don't think we can rotate as much as we did in the Europa League. So a big thing for us there. Just doing the national anthem for England. AFC Max has put this one up there. Let's just show that. Southgate is hypocritical. What has Maguire, Phillips, Grealish, Cal been in the side ahead of Tamari, White, Sterling, and was that? Yeah, Prowse, I think, been very, very harshly dealt with there as well. So, you know, can't get the rest of that up there. So hold on 1 second, see if I can. It doesn't let Aaron down today. Now, that's another thing today. It was actually said on the TV. Aaron Ramsdale comes in today, Now, this is what I say about Gareth Southgate. Yeah, right. This is his fourth cap today. Uh, Aaron Ramsdale. He's under a little bit of pressure, of course, because obvious reasons. So what does he do? He puts the two new central defenders together in front of him, what I mean. Could get well exposed tonight, So when Pickford plays in the next game, he's got the two central defenders in front of him. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's a better thing that that one of them is there, but it's like Dunk. I think, is he making his international debut today? I'm not sure, but a bit of experience in there. So when you have these sort of games, you put in a nice back four. Oh no, not today. He doesn't. He changes it all around and could expose could expose him today. What do I think about Djokovic winning the US Open? Listen, I mean, I'll say this, and James, me and James having this conversation. I've got nothing against Djokovic. I think he's a quality player, but I don't think, in my personal opinion, that he's better than Federer and Nadal. But his Grand Slams now show you that he is. So it's a tough one, from that point of view. So I think he's a wonderful, wonderful player. But if you have a look at the finals that he's played in, he's played it against a few. He's had a few gimmies, and I know that's saying a little bit harsh on him, but that's how I feel about Djokovic. Very, very pleased that Goff won though, so that was a good thing there. Hold on a minute, what am I doing here? I've got to move down a bit here. Now, when it comes to the super chats, I know that I'll put that one up there. I can't read it at this moment in time. The old computer at the moment's not working. What's going on here? Bear with me. There we go. Lee, worried about us missing party for our up-and-coming game. Also, first time visit in London last week. Watched Arsenal versus Man United in the North Bank. It was legendary. Wow. If that is an incredible game to go and watch. I've bumped into people so many times. Excuse me. Their first game watching that game at the Emirates and all that. What a game to actually have your first experience at the Emirates. Give us your experiences of the Emirates. That's a good one. Or if you're not an Arsenal fan, any other team, your first sort of game that you had. Manchester United 3. Manchester United and Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1, and the atmosphere after that. Wow, what an unbelievable game there for that. Yeah, that's a very good point. Rafa has dominated the French Open. Djokovic has won it all Grand Slams on different guys. That is a very, very good point. He's sort of won more on the hard courts than he but I do take that on board that he has, and all three of them, to be fair, have suffered injuries. For me, if I would say that in order of great players and all that, like Djokovic and tennis has changed, of course, but I was brought up on an era where you had Ball, McEnroe, Lendl, Agassi, Sampras, unbelievable players. If I missed out anybody, let me know from that sort of era. Going forward into the Nadal, Djokovic, Federer. Of course, Andy Murray also has to be up in there as well, like, you know. So we'll see. And the game's off anyway. We just kicked off. Declan Rice and Paul. Eddie Nketiah, by the way, is on the bench today. Michael Chang, yeah, he had a couple of good years, Michael Chang, didn't he? And the great thing about it now is that growing up, you know, we only used to just see Wimbledon. You didn't see like the you know, now you can get to watch the French. I think there was always the French. I think we see a little bit of the French as well, like, but definitely didn't see the Australian and the American and the US Open, but we see them now, like, you know. So that is a really, really good thing to see there. Like one of my favourite, well, two of my favourite players, not the greatest players in tennis. My favourite ever tennis player was Andre Agassi. Loved him, and Ivan Lendl was up there as well, like, you know, and Harry Kane, Bayern Munich's Harry Kane in there, but unfortunately not quite fit, and the flag's gone up. Yeah, so yeah, come on, let's have this. Let's change it a little bit round. That favourite tennis players. Come on, let's see who's your favourite tennis players were, and we'll see who it is, like, you know what I mean. Agassi with the mullet, yeah, I always liked him because he went bald as well. So that was probably one of the reasons that I liked him, like, you know what I mean. And apparently, the rumor was that he played quite a few of his years in tennis with a wig on. There you go, like, you know. So Boris Becker, Boris Becker would have to be up there, like, you know. Stefan Edberg's another one just come through quickly to my mind as well, like, you know. Becker come onto the scene, didn't he, and smashed it for a couple of years at Wimbledon. He was absolutely awesome. Like, England on the attack now with Walker taking on Robinson. Not outpacing Robinson in that way there, but forced the corner, which should, you know, I'm going to say something about Walker. Like, you know, he was never this good when he was at Spurs, was he? I think he's like a wine, fine wine, isn't he? Like, you know, he's got better and better and better. Ball is beautiful. Yeah, I'm with you. Leighton Hewitt, yeah, he was another good player there. Roddick, do you remember Roddick had an unbelievable serve, Roddick? You know, so Ilie Nastase, yeah, there was another one, like Ilie Nastase. Probably a load of you won't even remember him, like, you know. So Trippier's going to take this corner now. McEnroe up there, Maxine, without a doubt. One of the best players to ever watch. You just didn't know what was going to happen with the Mac, you know what I mean? So it was good, but a wonderful, wonderful player. Ball comes in from Declan Rice. Back in there. Yeah, could he have shot there, Declan? Like, you know, if that was for the Arsenal, expecting to have a shot there, like, you know. By the way, no Spurs players in the England side today after having so many of them, like, you know. All of a sudden, there's none in the England team today. Madison on the bench today. Declan Rice of Arsenal on the ball now, just controlling that midfield as he did at the weekend for Arsenal. Over to Dunk now, getting his chance there. And that Trippier at the moment's on the right hand side. I think he's playing on the right hand side because he just made that on the corner there, like, you know. Gunn in goal for Scotland. Scotland, by the way, let's just talk a little bit about Scotland. And one of the well, they've just been fantastic, haven't they? Some of the results that they've pulled out of the bag over the course of last 6, 7, 8 games. Beating Spain, of course. Denmark getting a result against Norway as well. Bellingham there making a foul, so that'd be very, very interesting. Like, Lee, who was your favourite footballer in the 90s, 2000s, other than Arsenal player? I tell you, I really, really did like in the 90s, Barcelona and Bulgaria. We talked about this today on the show, like, you know, Istro Stoichkov. I absolutely adored him, like, you know, when I was playing, like, left foot, nasty player, but wonderful, wonderful player. Would have to be there. Diego Maradona was early 90s, like late 80s, early 90s, was a player I really liked. Players that you'd be surprised by this, I sort of admired, even though he was at Manchester United, was Eric Cantona. Thought he was a very, very good player. Wouldn't say one of my favourites, but I did like him, like, you know. So was a great, great player, like, you know. So Who else would I like at that time? Yeah, Stojkovic was a tank. Saw him play for DC United at the tail end of his career. Great call. Yeah, he was a great player. Fantastic player. I'll tell you who else I really liked as a player as well was Rivaldo at Barcelona. I thought he was a wonderful player. Actually, when was it Arsenal played? Do you remember, if you remember, when Arsenal were playing their Champions League games at Wembley and Barcelona come to town? And I actually got to say it was the first time I think I've really seen Barcelona play, and I was just in awe of just the way they played football. They give Arsenal the run around that day, and I thought Arsenal were a good side, and Barcelona were really were a fantastic team then. So Rivaldo was definitely up there. My favourite player growing up when I was at school and all that from Brazil was Zico. What a player he was! Again, because of we see Messi and Ronaldo and all those players. I only saw Zico once every 4 years, but what a in World Cups and things like that, I would love to have watched him play week in, week out. So he was a fantastic player as well, So Thomas Brolin, I remember Thomas Brolin had a good couple of seasons. He did play for Leeds for a little while, didn't he? So yeah. England have started this game off very well at the moment, looking very dangerous. Dunk with a header there, let me know what the atmosphere, because I have to turn the TV on mute, so I can't have any commentary. But I bet the atmosphere is really good there as well. So what is the atmosphere like? Michael Laudrup, Brian Laudrup as well. Do you remember they were fantastic players in the side there? I'll tell you what I did like as a player growing up as well. He's actually on the thing today, commentary today. Graham Souness was a player that could play, but a hard player as well. So hard to touch them. It just shows if you get a kick in the back like that. Tierney gone down from that little nudge from Walk. I didn't think there was too much in there like that. What was your earliest football memories? The earliest football memories of me was Liam Brady, and my dad used to take me over to the Arsenal. My granddad was a massive Spurs fan. He used to take us over to Tottenham. I remember players like Martin Shivers playing, Glenn Hoddle. But in those days you could go to Arsenal 1 week, Spurs the next. And that's what I was doing when I was a kid. But then I chose Arsenal as my team, thank God. And I remember my dad just saying to me, just go and watch Liam Brady. I used to like the centre forwards. I used to think I was a bit of a forward, but I think so I used to like Frank Statement and Martin Shivers, those sort of players coming through as a kid. But I always had I ended up playing midfielder, but Liam Brady was well. And I think with Liam Brady, my dad used to just say, just watch him. So I'd go over to the Arsenal, I'd just watch Liam Brady. Now sometimes he didn't always wear the number 8, the 7 shirt. He'd wear number 8 sometimes, number 11 when he was playing. And he obviously was always number 7. But what a quality player he was like, and fortunate enough to have met him, and fantastic player as well. Lee, was your favourite Thierry Henry goal? My favourite Thierry Henry goal has to be the one against Spurs when he runs from really like 70 yards and he slots it in. I think that was a special goal. Special mention for Matt Le Tissier. Matt Le Tissier, I've had the good fortune to meet Matt Le Tissier. Wonderful player and a nice guy as well. So it's got some fantastic goals. He did, of course, stayed at Southampton for all of his career. Had a manager that manager was a coach at Southampton. Done the youth team. Done Le Tissier. Done managed Alan Shearer as well. And he tells a story of once when they was playing a game, it was 0-0 or maybe losing 1-0 or something like that, and youth team game, managers going into one line, and saying to him, do this, do that, and said to Letizia, come on, get your act together. You got blah, 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 blah. He went out there and got a hat-trick in the second half, and he just walked in and said, was that all right? So, yeah, and he just said that he could do everything, Matt Letizia, so fantastic player. Glenn Hoddle's passing was epic at its time. He was. I tell you what, Glenn Hoddle was a player before his time. If he was playing there, he'd be worth millions and millions and be much more appreciated than what he was. Played for England, but not on a regular basis. He was in and out of the side. The team should have been built around him, in my opinion. Obviously, at that sort of time, you don't like Spurs players. I've never done, but there's a grudging admiration for and I had that grudging admiration for Glenn Hoddle, without a doubt. Like we looked at top players for Tottenham in their day. It was definitely like Glenn Hoddle, Paul Gascoigne. You sort of had a begrudging respect for, and of course Bayern Munich's Harry Kane. Like, you know what I mean? Was another one. Like what's this one here? Like, would you take Potter as a replacement for Southgate? Do you know what? I would. That's a great shout, JB. That is a great shout. I would. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic shout. I'd like the England manager, next England manager, to be English. I think that Eddie Howe would be a shout. If things don't go too well at Newcastle, I think he's done enough to show that he deserves an opportunity. I think that if the opportunity was to arise, he would still definitely be wanting to manage Scotland. Manage Newcastle. I think really. So, it'd be a difficult one. Who would you actually fit in? I think Potter's a great shout. I think that's a great shout. Just trying to think who else I would go with. If I was to go for a foreign manager, a couple of years ago, I would have liked to see Arsene Wenger come in there. Someone that would be really aggressive with the team. You know, we've got some fantastic forward-thinking players and really go for it there. Put a shout who you like for England manager. I think that's a good call for me. I'm going to be against Potter, like, you know. Have you still got the dry cleaners league? No, Daniel, I haven't no more. Like, you know, that's gone now. Like, you know, sort of doing this all full time now. End of an era. I loved doing it at the time, and it was going well. But realistically, dry cleaning world sort of went a little bit pear-shaped with COVID, to be honest. Things in this world picked up because of COVID, but the dry cleaning world and like other things went down a little bit. Don't go too much into social lives and things like that, but like lots of shops at this moment in time are empty, aren't they? Like, you know, and the high street shops and things like that have been really hit by things at the moment, which is a shame because today I see that Wilco has gone liquidation and closed down, like, you know, so another big company, high street retailer has gone down there. There's a foul by Phillips, you know, maybe like, was it a foul or handball? Phillips looked like he just couldn't get there quick enough, and handball from Declan Rice. 14 minutes gone. Scotland, by the way, last 5 minutes have just clawed their way back into the game, just sort of weathered that little storm, and now I've got this free kick. At the moment, of course, it's still Scotland 0, England 0. Not really that many chances at the moment, but this is a team now that's competing. Like, you know, Poundland should be buying some. Yeah, I heard that today. Poundland are buying some of those shops. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what goes from there. Why is Kelvin Phillips playing? Well, I have no clue. I have no clue. She's played 6 minutes of football at the moment. Couldn't head of that from Dunk. Very, very good header. Very, very good. Good defensive work from England there. Walker clears the lines. No one going to be up. Oh, Harry Kane. Bayern Munich's Harry Kane chasing this down. He's going to get this, Harry Kane. No. Oh, I tell you what. That's unlucky. From Bayern Munich's Harry Kane now. So, 6 minutes Calvin Phillips has had. You look at someone like Ward-Prowse at West Ham now, left his boyhood club for one of the reasons probably to play in the Premier League. I get that, but also to enhance his England career, and he's played fantastically well since he's gone to West Ham. Done really, really well. Hasn't got in, and you've got a player in the midfield that's played 6 minutes. And another thing, you look at it and you think, well, you're playing. He's never let England down. I get that. Harry Maguire's never let England down. And that, can someone tell me, has Raheem Sterling ever let England down? Whether you rate him or not, whether you think he's a good player or not, has he ever let England down? I don't think so. So why has he been left out? There's always little rules for this manager. I think someone was saying on Sky today, it's crap that he's got favourites. Well, I think you're crap for saying it, because I do think that he has favourites, and he proves that way. McTominay, by the way, for Scotland, if he plays like this for Scotland, what I see Manchester United's midfield, he'd walk into Manchester United's midfield at the moment. He's strong, he's robust, he's causing a few problems here for him. Great little bit of play from England. This unlucky. I think that Marcus Rashford there. I think it was just a little bit of sloppiness from Rashford there. He'd actually get into Man United's team at the moment. I can't believe he's not. Gilmore has another one, little resurrection of his career. Stalled at Chelsea, didn't it? And then it didn't quite go to plan at Brighton at first, but now he's been playing really, really well for Brighton. So this is getting things to Scotland that have just got that little. Do you know, a little bit like what Wales done a few years ago? Got a real good club mentality. Rashford's in here, cuts inside. Foden knocks it over the bar. Unlucky that from England, but they're opening them up. Good little bit of play from Rashford. Was he onside? I think he would have been offside, if I'll be honest. Good defending from Scotland. 3 players back on and around him, and Foden puts over the bar. What's this? Here, I think I read. Would you take Klopp? Do you think Klopp will take the Germany job? No, I don't. I don't think that he'll take the Germany job, JB. I think that he's still way too young for that club level football, and elite as well. So I think that he'll stay at Liverpool for a little bit longer. I think in 5 years' time, maybe it will interest him, but I do think that he's still got plenty to offer for Liverpool, and I think Liverpool are going to be up there this season. I think that they've got a manager at this moment in time that knows what he's doing. He's refreshed that midfield, and I think Liverpool will be a threat. And I've got a feeling, I know Núñez scored a couple of goals against Newcastle, fantastic. I think he's going to really explode this season, so be careful of Liverpool in this time. Rashford, is he going to be offside this time? I'd be very surprised if he's not. He's on that inside of his foot. Good bit of play, good tackle there. And that is a corner, but it was offside. Yeah, I did feel that it was offside. I don't know why they can't put their flag up and even if VAR can stop it, he's well offside there. Come on. Wasting the time, ain't really like. I can't stand it. I really can't stand it. Gareth Southgate, the referee in this VAR, always getting things wrong. And not a penalty, even if it was for me, like, you know. So, but England's just starting to look a little bit dangerous, more so on counter attack at the moment, dominating. Good game so far. Rashford always looking dangerous. England's front three. What is the best front three now? I believe it's Rashford, Bayern Munich's Harry Kane, and Saka would be my three. But that's harsh on Foden and that's harsh on Grealish as well. Like, you know, 5 players there with unbelievable talent up front, and that's without Sterling. You can bring in Maddison to that role there, even though I'll put Maddison into the more the midfield role. But that's incredible. And you've got Wilson that can nick goals as well. Eddie, there's a lot of talent. You know, very, very hard to get in. You know, to even get in the squad, let alone get a start for England. And of course, Ivan Toney not available at this moment in time. Someone else to think about as well. So you know, Don one saying Sterling on the left for me, Rashford, Kane, Saka, got to be. As Sterling burnt his bridges now with Southgate. If you upset him, it seems to be that could be the end of it. Like, you know, that's another interesting point there. You know, what the midfield three would be. Declan Rice for me, obviously Bellingham, and then you can choose the next one, whether it be Trent Alexander or Maddison in that role for there. Or in fact, could you, if you know, if you're an adventurous manager, maybe put Foden in there or Grealish as options as well as what we've got there. Like, I only think that we need one midfield player in there. There are times that we may need two, but you know, whether that be Henderson or not, I'm not so sure of all the controversy around him, and he's getting a little bit old. But definitely Rice in there as well. But Rice and Bellingham would definitely be the two. It's then what you do is you go with another defensive midfield player. I would like to see us be more adventurous and go with a Maddison or a Foden in that role. That would be for me something to look at there. And the other thing is Trippier. I don't think he's a bad player and a good right back for Newcastle and England. But why is he playing left back? We've got no left backs in this country. I've seen a couple of good left backs. Is it Henry at Brentford that's really always impressed me? So we've got no left backs in England at this moment in time. Like, strange, isn't it? See where we go from there. Like, so loads of international is about at the moment. The cricket, of course, the one-day series with New Zealand going at the moment. The Rugby World Cup, some loads of sport on at the moment. And of course, the Premier League is back at the weekend. And as much as this game, I'm looking forward to this game tonight. I've really not really been looking forward to any other internationals. You can't beat the Premier League. Like, you know, Bellingham in here on the left hand, as high as that Rashford, that's a poor cross. Ball could come out towards that. A good shot cross goal there. And it's gone wide. England now really just starting to turn the screw here. Like, there's this offside, this one. Let's have a look. That is a brilliant run from Rashford. Or Bellingham, was it? Bellingham? Brilliant run from Bellingham, but the cross wasn't as great. Good ball from Rashford. If you meant that, then I'll give him his credit here, but well wide in the end. But lovely run from Bellingham. Lovely ball from Rashford there. Quickly run down some scores for you. This moment in time. Italy won Ukraine 0 at the moment. 20 minutes gone of that game. Malta 0, North Macedonia 1. Norway 0, Georgia 0. If that stays the same, then Scotland would have qualified and be the first team to qualify for the Euros. Spain beating Cyprus by a goal to 0. Belgium 2-0 up on Estonia. Israel 0, Belarus 0, Romania 0, Kosovo 0, Sweden 0, Austria. Australia there. Austria 0. Switzerland and Andorra is also 0-0. That's all the international updates at the moment. Watching Sky Sports, this isn't it? Like, you know, so the massive game on Sunday and a tough one. We haven't won there in years at Goodison. I know I can't. Just funny enough, we was talking about that as the last time. I think was it we won there. I know that one time we won there 2-0 and the Wobie scored, and we won there 5-2. Was it? There was another time that we won, but you know, the last season's one was a real tough one. I remember getting on the train back because I was staying in Manchester, and that was a depressing train journey back to Manchester. I had to go out of Manchester that night, and knowing that we'd been beaten, it's never easy and not nice. So that was a tough one. Right? Lee, did you see that Son has been pictured with his legs strapped up, hoping he's out for the North London derby? Oh, I didn't know that. Like, you know, I mean, you don't wish players to get injured, but you know, if you know, he's been in good form, got a hat-trick at the last game, so there's plenty of time to recover before the North London derby. So you know, listen, I don't know about anybody on here, but I want to take on Spurs with their best team. You know, I don't want them making excuses. So hopefully he's fit and available, like, you know. So another good move from England. England carving Scotland apart here. Don't forget, this is a Scotland team that have been on a roll lately. Been really winning games against some very, very good teams. Lots of confidence. And don't forget, we're in their backyard at this moment in time, and looking the better team. No, if I'll be really honest, I don't think either goalkeeper's had a save to make at this moment in time. But I think we're starting to really show our authority here at the moment, and that's good to see. So Declan Rice on the ball at this moment in time, playing it back to Trippier, into Duncan, who started off well, to be fair, like, you know. Lewis Dunk's done very, very well in there, you know. You know, people will probably saying that he, you know, was a good Premier League player, but could he do it internationally? He's certainly showing that at the moment. Good ball from Rice there to Foden. Foden now should we play out to Walker. Back to Foden. Foden's a fantastic player. You know, I do feel got to try and find getting away into this England side. I do like him as a player. I don't like any Man City player, but you know what I'm saying. That mutual respect for him in there, but if he's not really ever really got nailed down a regular place for Man City, is he? I know they're a wonderful team, but he's got the talent he's got. He should be nailing down a place in both these teams, if I'll be honest. Yeah, I agree with that. Like Fisher Maxey, you know what I mean. If you're going for the title, you know, bring on the best team. That's exactly right. I think that there was a time when you would want. I'll be honest, you'd like to play, you know, the best players not to be out. But I've got confidence in the Arsenal team now that I do think that we're the second best team in the country. So yes, let's be honest. You know. We're going to take on Manchester City without De Bruyne. Fantastic, like, you know. I like us to be taking on Man City without Haaland as well. You know, if I'll be honest, a couple of players missing, like we had when we went to them last season, like 2 or 3 of their best players out. But other than Man City, I you know, I'm really, wishing any other players to be out of the side. You're only wishing them out there because you feel that then gives you a chance of winning the game, because they are, in my opinion, a better team than us. But I don't think anybody else is. I remember when we played Man United last season, Casemiro couldn't play. I wasn't celebrating that. I wanted him to play in that game. And, had a couple of players out this time. Man United didn't really bother me either way. But we had a couple of players out as well. Lovely bits of skill there by Jude Bellingham. He pulled up for a foul there, which was a little bit unfair in my opinion. Walker is England's best right back sign. Do you know what? I'm going to go along with that. I think in the right back area, and this is probably like a little thing with Ben White, we're stoked with right backs. Walker, Trippier, who can play, of course, there as well, but can play left back, which I think, we've got someone like Timber at Arsenal. We give Tim, unfortunately, he's injured, but we give him a lot of credit for that he can play right back, left back. So you've got to give that credit to Trippier that he can do both there, You've got James, who's injured at the moment, who, to be fair, Reece James is not really recovered from that knee injury, is it? Keeps picking up knocks and injuries in there. Trent Alexander, you would have to say, be there as a right back as well. And of course, our own Ben White, who I think at this moment in time, he should be the backup right back. If you're playing Trippier as a backup left back, then he should be the backup right back, in my opinion. But footballing reasons, we all know now, are not the reasons. There was an issue. There's something happened in that World Cup, and that's the reason. I've got a chance here. Walker puts it. Goal! Or is that offside? Foden scored at this moment in time. Now, there could be a danger that this could be offside. But if it's not, then England have taken the lead. And I'll tell you what, I think deservedly so. I think England have been the better team so far in this game. So it's just whether I think it's Bellingham is offside. No, he's onside. Definitely onside. That's a goal. That is a goal for England. No two ways about that. Bellingham onside. And he just flicks it to Walker. I think Walker has a shot here, but it's Foden who puts it in. Like so, it was Rashford. Sorry, that was my eyes are going terrible. I've got my glasses on for this. So Rashford definitely onside. Plays the ball across to Walker, and Foden 1-0 England. Good goal. I'll tell you, England have carved open Scotland on many occasions at this moment in time, and deserve to be in front. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't even think there's a worry about that. Definitely onside, definitely a goal. England are in front. And the curse of Scotland against England continues. This has been so far a very, very good assured performance from England, if I'll be honest. 33 minutes gone. Ramsdale not having a save to make, defending very, very well, getting out on the ball, going through the lines really, really well, and the front three, well, particularly the wider players, have caused problems. Rashford doing well, getting into that centre forward position, definitely onside. Definitely a shot by Walker. Foden in there, good goal. Looking very, very good at the moment. As I say, Ramsdale's not had a shot to save. But Maxine, with the VAR, I think they should scrap it. I say scrap it. I think it would work if it worked for about opinions. And someone was saying today that there's been over 12. We're in week 4, and there's been 12 VAR decisions that have got wrong. 12 decisions on VAR that have been wrong from 4 games gone. That is incredibly bad. Oh, goal! 2-0. Mistake I don't know who that was in there, but Jude Bellingham smashes it in, and England are now 2-0 up, and deservedly so. I think it was Robinson that made the mistake. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, England are ripping them apart with some neat stuff, knocking it about very, very well. And yeah, I think that's a complete howler here. Lovely bit of play from Rashford, puts it across. No, it's Rashford. Bellingham comes in there. And Foden puts it across there like that. So I'll tell you what, Bellingham does really well. Look at this, like they just, oh, it's a gift, an absolute gift. But I'll tell you what, he come off the wing there and into a lovely, lovely position there and a good finish, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think they opened up Pandora's box with VAR. It's just, you know, um, it's not working. It's as simple as that. It's not working, and you know, they've got to, you know, have to really sort it all out. There's got to be a real big revamp on it. And as for that Webb going on TV and trying to defend it, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, like, you know. Yeah, Gay is a very, very good defender. Chance for Scotland, good defending, I think, by Gay again there. You know, but that's the first chance that Scotland have had. It was some good defending. There's something rolled up for the referee now. No, nothing in there as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. Yeah, carry on, ref. Checking possible penalty for Amber. No, come on, get on with it, please. It's ridiculous. So it's just little things like that, you know what I mean, just spoil it. You know, there's no handball there. And Scotland now have got some work to do here, guys. And England are in total control. Now, the things that's going to come out about this, and I get that. This is a friendly, a little bit of pressure off. And, you know, the players can express themselves a little bit more. I don't know. But this has been England's best performance for a very, very long while, as far as I'm concerned. Played really well. Look dangerous again. They're in again here now. Bellingham on the ball. Is it Bellingham or Rashford? Poor ball that time from Bellingham. And there was a little bit. Graham Souness and Ali McCoy were on before, and they were talking about, you know, where England were going to dominate. Scotland were going to dominate is in midfield, but Rice and Phillips at the moment have dominated in that area. Interesting to see that Foden's sort of now playing in the more central role at this moment in time. Bellingham dropped to into the sort of midfield. So the midfield at the moment is Bellingham, Rice, and Phillips, and Foden's the one catching his off. Was Bellingham gone over to the left, Rashford to the right? I'm not so sure, but and Foden in the middle is sort of interchanged there, which is nice to see. A bit of flexibility in the scene. At the moment, Bellingham's sort of gone out to the white, sort of like the left side of the three. Interesting. Defending there again by Dunk. Dunk's done very, very well, like, you know. So it was actually Declan Rice, which is more worrying that Declan Rice has stayed on the floor. He's up. Get him off now, Gareth, please. Scores on the doors from the other games at the moment. Italy are now 2-0 up against Ukraine. Malta 0, North Macedonia 1 still. Norway 2, Georgia 0. So that means that if that stays the same, then Scotland will not qualify today. Guess who scored for Norway? You got it. Yes, Martin Odegaard. And Haaland has scored as well. So Haaland scored after 25 minutes. Odegaard has just scored after 33. So they're 2-0 up. Spain now cruising 3-0 against Cyprus, as that was expected. Belgium 2-0 upwards until it goes to Estonia. No goals in the other 3 games: Israel, Belarus, Romania, Kosovo, and Sweden, Austria, respectively. And Switzerland and Andorra is also 0-0. So top half of those fixtures have got loads of goals. The bottom half getting no goals at all at the moment. But the news from this at the moment is that Scotland are losing 2-0. They're not going to qualify tonight. Not a great night for them. And Odegaard and Haaland, Norway's 2 best players, are on the score sheet. And of course, weren't involved in the World Cup, Norway, because they didn't qualify with those 2 great players. And they're in danger of not qualifying again because Scotland look like they're going to take one of the places. And Norway are battling it out with Spain. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with those 2 teams. So we're now looking at it. Oh, that's a tough tackle. Good tackle, though. He's got put for it. I thought we got the ball there. This is the trouble with football now. Let's have a look at this now. I think this is a good tackle. Oh, I don't know. A little bit of argy-bargy going on there, like, Walker trying to get involved. Looking away from each other. We'll go that out there again now. Bellingham. Is it a bit unnecessary? Why would you get involved with that, Bellingham? Looking for you. Yeah. Getting a little bit feisty, isn't it? Getting a little bit feisty. How much is dry cleaning service for a tux at your place, boss man? Well, it was £10. I haven't got the shop no more, but it was £10 for a suit. I think now suits have gone up. I think like to a minimum sort of like £12 now for a suit. Like, everything's gone up. When I just finishing doing the dry clean, like things like hangers, shoulder guards, everything like that. I used to. I think I used to put an order in once a month, like for hangers, sponges, shoulder guards, etc., and all that. And it used to be about £300, say, like, when some I was leaving, it was well over 500. So that's how much things are going up, and people struggling because of that sort of thing, like, So everything was getting dearer and dearer, like. So 42 minutes gone. Thank you for everybody watching and staying with me. I know it's not easy doing this on your own. I actually had my nephew and my brother watching it with me on Saturday, and they were sort of making comments. And actually, Max come on for a little while. They've gone out for Chinese tonight, and I was invited, but because it was so successful on Saturday, I thought we'd give it a go again tonight. And I turned down the Chinese tonight. Actually went for Chinese Sunday because with my mum and family and all that, like, and so I think we will have it twice in 3 days, but they're greedy sods, they are, like, they come round. They actually come round, they let me out of the house and home, and then gone. But, we had the old snooker table. I don't know if anybody ever watches, when in the background they see the dartboard and the snooker table behind me. We had that out yesterday and playing snooker. It finished with me and my brother winning 5 games each. Bill won 3 and Max won 2, I think. And we had a good night playing snooker. Oh, well, we played pool, but it was enjoyable. I won the first 5 games and then didn't win a game after that. Once I got beat, I lost interest in it. But, I won the golf. I think we're playing golf again tomorrow, I think. There's England now. I think they played really well this half. I'm going to have to say that. I think they've been really, really good. Do you know who's been very, very quiet today? Bayern Munich's Harry Kane. Now, people are asking whether I celebrate a Harry Kane goal at this moment in time. He didn't get looking on Saturday, and he's not had a look in this game neither, like, you know. So funny, when he was playing for Tottenham, scored all the time, like, you know. What is your favourite food meal? Oh, that's a good question. I do like a Chinese, do like an Indian, and I do like an Italian. 1 minute to go to half time. Do you know what? I don't know how you guys feel about that. You know, if you have to really fancy one of them, you know, like same with the Turkish or something, like, you know, I would probably say if I had the choice, that's a good. If I had the choice, um, I'd probably say Indian. But you know, do you know you have to fancy an Indian, don't you? You know what I mean? So I'll probably go an Indian, but um, you know, I'll have to say that. Like, you know. They're in again here, England. They're in again if they play this right. Foden, can he whap it across? Oh, was that Bayern Munich's Harry Kane near on the end of that? I think it was. I'll tell you what. The movement of England tonight has been brilliant. Scotland have not been able to handle it, and that is unlucky again. Like, you know, it's very, very unlucky. Like, you know. Got to be in the mood for Chinese for sure, but when you are, it really is exactly that. Exactly that. It does. Half time. Scotland 0, England 2. Fantastic first half from England. They'd be delighted with that, and there's much work for Scotland to do at this moment in time. I think that's 45 minutes that they've played there on a hostile place with a team in fantastic form, and Aaron Ramsdale's not had a shot to save, so that's fantastic work from England, and they'll be very, very pleased with that first half performance. That is a very, very good first half, and you think there's a few players that would get into that team as well, coming in like at some stage as well. So I think England can be very, very pleased with what they've done in that first 45 minutes. Like that. Yeah, Chinese does hit the spot. We had a place in Cheshunt, as much as you can eat Chinese, and it was like fantastic. You know, one a buffet one, it was like a proper, like, you know, and bloody shut it down, like, you know what I mean. So it isn't there no more, which is it's devastating, like, you know. Nice Turkish restaurant opened in the Abbey. Whereabouts in the Abbey, Maxine? Let us know where that one is. I don't mind Turkish. We've got about three in a couple in Odderstone, 2 in Proxmore and Wormley. I think there's three in Cheshunt by the Old Pond. So lots of Turkish restaurants now, aren't there? Like that one. So, but that, you know, back in the day at Waltham Abbey, like they had the one road down in Waltham Abbey had the most pubs. It was on the record, like, you know, had the most pubs on one street. It's not so many now, like, but it used to be like all pubs down there, like that. So really, you into boxing? I'm not massively into boxing. I do enjoy the big fights. Sun Street, that's it, Maxine. Yeah, like loads of pubs down there. I think a few have shut now, like, you know. So that's where the Turkish is as well, is it? Like, you know, like a bit of Greek. Prefer Turkish to Greek? Is that controversial? Like, you know, who is the funniest AFTV member? What, other than myself? Good question. Who's the funniest? I tell you, I think it's very, very funny. He doesn't mean to be funny. He's probably Julian, but yeah. So big up to Cecil. I have to say, like, you know, James is very, very funny, very dry. Got a very good sense of humour, James. Very, very clever. Turkish as well. But you know what? I get on really, really well with all the guys from Aberdeen. They're all really, really good guys. But because, and when we went to America, it was fantastic. We all got on really, really well. But because, like, on the European trips, it's normally me, Cecil, and Julian, we have that like connection of really getting on well. Robbie, I think, is going to be coming to a few of them this season as well. And the camera guy, whoever's in the camera of that, have a really good, a good relationship, good banter, like, you know. So I'll tell you what, when we go away, it's just fun times. And normally, like, it's sort of like on away trips now. It's me, Cecil, Julian, and Robbie. So we have that sort of friendship that goes on to it. Really, that's really, really good. But as I say, they're all good guys, you know. And listen, Cecil, yeah, as just going from strength to strength, like, you know what I mean. He's unbelievable, like how successful he is. He's such a lovely human being, like, you know. I really have to say that. Julian owes you a Kit Kat. Yeah, no, he's paid up for that now. He's a good lad. So you know, he's a good one. What's my favourite band? Oh, do you know what? In the day, I used to love U2. Really did like U2. Like, you know, that was a good song. You and Cecil had a good like. Yeah, we've got a very, very good relationship. Do you know what? With me and Cecil, I didn't know Cecil and James. They both turned up at the same time, and didn't know who I was going to be working with and whatever. And then when we went into a meeting once, they said, right, the European tours are going to be me, Cecil, and the cameraman Brennan, who's actually left now. But that was the three that was going to go away. Julian as well, like, was going to come along. But the first one we'd done, so I don't really know these guys that well. And we went to Nuremberg. That was the first sort of trip, so I didn't really know Cecil that well. But you just, you know, get on with it, like, you know, and go from there. And yeah, that's what we done. We went to there, and, you know, we just got on well. Really, like, you know, it was really good. Then from Nuremberg, we go after Nuremberg. I think from Nuremberg we went to America, then to Orlando, and we got on really, really well there. But the whole gang did, really. And, you know, I have to say that the trip to America probably was even better because we were travelling a lot more, and the bonds of everybody had got on really well, like, you know. Both James and Cecil have come out. Do you know what? They've made a massive difference to the channel. Massive difference to the channel. And you know, so much more positivity through it all now, like, you know, and a lot to do with them two guys, you know what I mean? Who's likely to pay for a meal outside Julian? I can tell, you know, they're both as tight as each other. But Julian will pay his way under duress. But I've never seen Ty get his hand in his pocket. When there's free food going, sometimes you do events and things like that, free food comes in there. My God, Ty, he eats like he might not get a meal for a week. Unbelievable, like, you know. He's Ty like that in real life. He is. I say what you see is what he is, like, you know. He can be a real can get on your nerves at times, but no, that is exactly what he's like. Lee, your sunbathing time in America was epic, and yeah, like, you know, listen, I love a bit of the outside. When we was in Orlando, we had a lovely place and a pool, and it was great because, like, nothing really got done until, like, we didn't really start doing anything till 12 o'clock. I used to get up about 9 o'clock, and those 3 hours. We had Steve cook a bit of breakfast. He'd get up about 10 and do a bit of breakfast. And every day was different breakfast. And so that was me. Get up, shorts on, out for the sunbathe for about 3 hours, and then back in for a little bit of breakfast and that. Dip in the pool, go and get ready, and then go out, like, to do what we had to do. Fantastic. When we went to America this time in New York and Washington, didn't have a pool, and it wasn't like that. The rooms were a little bit smaller. And when we went to LA, it was massive with the swimming pool and all that. Like, it was like back being in back being like a landowner was fantastic. So again, like I used to get me me few hours in by the pool. I loved it, so it was good. So many more questions. Let's see if I can see it. Yeah, tyres are completely mad. There's no way, no two ways about it. But yeah, good trip to America. I have to say that, if you ever have the opportunity to do it, it is something to behold. It's completely different to what the experience you have in England. I have to say, it's absolutely mind blowing. Time out there. You get to see some of the players as well, which is really, really good. So very, very good time. Ties. We've done a thing. I don't know, some like went up to the studio doing this thing a few weeks ago, and they brought in a load of pizzas. I think at the end, or was it before? I can't remember. Was it at the end or before? I can't remember now. But they must have. They brought in like 15, 20 pizzas. There's only five of us, sort of like. There was a bit of production staff as well. Well, he ate the whole lot of his mum, he likes vegetarian. Don't ask if anybody else wants vegetarian. Eats the whole, the whole lot of it, and continues to keep eating it. I don't know what he does with his food. There's not an ounce of fat on him. But yeah, obviously, I used to do the. I don't really work with Thai as much as I used to. We used to do like the England games. We haven't. That's why I'm doing them now, because they're not doing them on the VR no more for whatever reason, I don't know. But it used to be me and Ty used to do them. We used to have some fun doing that. And he was people in the chat would banter him, and he just fall for it every time, and that's the way he is, So he's a very, very good guy, very, very passionate about Arsenal. Calm, he really, really is, very, very passionate about Arsenal, and follows them every game, won't miss a game. And enjoyed doing the watch-alongs with him. Legendary, really nice guy. As I say, all of them are really, really good guys, and pleasure to be involved working with them. So yeah. When was the last time you missed an Arsenal game, Jack? Well, I missed a couple of Arsenal games last year. I missed Bournemouth away, and I also missed Fulham at home and Aston Villa at home, because we booked a holiday with a load of friends and that, and it was in August, and it was around my birthday time, and it was meant to go the year before, I think. I don't know what the reason was. It was in the full season. I can't remember now. But it meant I had to miss 3 games. I can't remember the last time I missed a home game. I can't remember the last time that I missed a home game. So that was the first time that I missed a couple of games. Little story of the Bournemouth game, when we won 3-0 when Saliba scored his first goal. We was on the plane got delayed. So it was meant to be flying out the sort of time. I never organised and never booked the trip, I certainly wouldn't have booked it for 3:00 flight on a Saturday, but that's what it was, 3:00. We got a delay, and I was delighted. We got this, so I managed to watch the first half. Then we got on the plane, and there was another half-hour delay. But anyway, the plane took off when we was 2-0 up, and I couldn't relax because I'm thinking, what happens if Bournemouth equalised? What happens if Bournemouth done that, and whatever. And then as soon as the plane landed, there was a big cheer. There was loads of Arsenal fans on the plane. It come out that we won 3-0. And then when we went to a couple of bars and watched the game. We're all my friends, and we went with all Arsenal fans. Seasons ago was with us as well. So we all went to a bar and we watched both games through. No, one we watched at the hotel, and the other one we went to a bar. And we picked up 2-1 wins. I remember like the game against Fulham, we was 1-0 down and we pulled it around in the end. Otherwise, that would have been a tough one for the holiday. And then a game, I think they actually it was a midweek game, and we ended up winning 2-1. Do you remember it was 1-1? Again, from a free kick that would have every other foul on a goalkeeper gets given, but that one didn't. So that was disappointing. Harry Maguire warming up, looks like he's going to come on. Who's he coming on for then? So someone's Dunk's still there, so it might be for that. He was coming off there, like, and Ramsdale in the tunnel there. Looks like Phillips is in there as well. Declan Rice is coming out again. I would like to think Declan Rice will be coming off in the next 10-15 minutes. I bet you bottom dollar he don't. Like Gareth Southgate will keep him playing all the time. Big up yourself, Lee. Do you know if ever Blood Brothers has ever came back? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, you know what I mean, there was a lot of controversy around that, wasn't there? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Who's bigger, Arsenal or Juventus? That's a good question. I don't think there's a lot in it. Probably like both massive clubs. Like I say, probably Juventus have always been a massive club in the day, but I think their stadium's about 50,000 stadium, like, you know. So always felt that Juventus were the biggest team in Italy. People could argue without that, but that's what I think. I'd like to see Eddie get some minutes. I bet he don't come on, Eddie. He's only putting him there to make sure that he's got no rest for the next few days. You know, could have been sitting up and having a nice rest. It'd be interesting if he does come on. We'll have to wait and see. Be interesting how Scotland approach this game second half now. If they're really going to give it a good go, or not really like that. Fridge Freeze and Maguire must have gone on with their hands and knees and begged for Southgate to play in the second half. Well, he's probably said he'd wash his car for free for the next year. Something like that, like, you know. So we'll go for. I think is that the only change. Wasn't really concentrating on that. Rashford, I can see still there. Yeah, well, myself, Cecil, and James were on. We were on Mike's channel, you know, for his Gooners versus cancer, you know, charity. I think he went 27 hours straight through. Incredible, you know, that he does that, like, you know. But I believe he's raised nearly $30,000 on that now, which is fantastic. So yeah, us three were on there, like, you know. Lee, are you full English? Definitely. Do like a full English breakfast every now and then. Love it when you go out the hotel. You know, you go to the hotel and you get your breakfast in the morning. Like, I do like that, like, you know, when you go away. So I think the next time I'm away is Bournemouth away. I think I'm staying over. So yeah, I do like the old full English. Like, you know. Of course, John Stones is not in the side. I think he's injured at the moment. Anyway, you know what I mean. So he would have been playing today. Well, would have been in the squad. I'm pretty sure he would have been in the squad. So it goes. Hi Lee, love your concept from a Chelsea fan. Will you celebrate if Kane scores tonight? Not tonight. Not tonight. It's only a friendly, isn't it? Like, you know. I'm not really dislike Kane. It's a funny situation with Harry Kane because they're playing Manchester United in a whenever they play them in the Champions League. If Harry Kane scores against Man United and I'm at home, I will jump up and celebrate because you know it's against Man United. Now, if you look at it, whenever he's played for Tottenham against Man United, there's been times I can say that I've wanted. Never wanted Tottenham to win, but probably get a draw. And Kane score, I wouldn't necessarily cheer it. You know what I mean? Because never really. I don't think you should celebrate a Tottenham win or whatever, like you know. So for me, very very strange. But I can guarantee you, if he scores against Man United, I will be cheering. Like you know, it's a funny situation. Gareth Bale when he scores for Wales when he was playing for Real Madrid, I'd celebrate it. Well, not celebrate it, but like you know, because I don't know how people feel, but I always wanted Wales to do well in their competitions. I'd be really Rod Stewart there. I'll be really honest with you. You know, I know Scotland don't like us and things like that, but I want Scotland to do well and I want them to qualify. I want all the sort of home nation teams to qualify. If I'll be honest. So I know that they don't want us to do well, but that's how it is. Seeing it out. And, I can't believe, by the way, is not playing for the Arsenal no more. Like you know, surely could have played a role in um, England's like England's. Well, I think he should have been. I'm not saying starting games and all that, but certainly, you know, when you think that Cedric is in the 25-man squad and Tierney isn't, you get your head around that one. Listen, going to Goodison Park's never easy. I don't think it's easy for any team like that. I mean, but if you've got aspirations of winning the league, they're struggling a little bit. Everton, you've got to go there and get a result. It was a poor result last season. I felt that was one that cost us a little bit when you think. I know you go on to other games and all that, but that was one that I felt put us under a little bit of pressure, you know, to lose there. Listen, you're always going to have a bad day, and I think that the game against Goodison against Everton, you can't afford to have a bad day. You've got to be on it. I think it's a massive, massive week for Arsenal. I don't know how everybody feels about it in the chat from the Arsenal fans. I think that we have a massive, massive week. 7 days, you know, Sunday, was it Sunday, Wednesday, Sunday. First of all, we play, of course, Everton on a Sunday, which was meant to be on a Saturday. I think that's beneficial for us. We've got an extra day now back. Because don't forget the Brazil boys don't get back till Friday. So that was important. So we get an extra day there. And then, of course, massive game on the Wednesday. I know it's PSV. We played them last season in the Europa League, but you know, the Champions League music and the Champions League massive, and then of course Spurs on the Sunday. So 3 massive games for us, like you know, next week, 1 away, 2 at home. I think I know it's early in the season, guys, and everything like that, but I think it's massive that we're playing against those teams. It really is. A big week for us, and I think it's a week if we can win all 3 of them, which will put us up in real good stead for the season. A couple of slip ups there, it could be a nightmare, like you know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, like you know. So getting England starting off this second half comfortable. Scotland I think they've had a shot which went wide, and they're getting a little bit more stuck, a little bit closer to us, and little bit more purpose in Scotland's play at this moment in time. Walker, never really like that. That's the big question now for me. Does Jesus start on Saturday? I'll say on Sunday at Everton. I believe that he probably won't. I think that he'll go with Eddie, and then Jesus will probably start against PSV. That's what I think might well happen. Like that. A difficult one. Well, what's the best fish and chip spot there? Best fish and chip shop where? Put in the comments there. I don't know whereabouts. And fish and chips, I have that every now and then. Like, you know what I mean? Not a real love of fish, but every now and then I'll have a little bit of rock and chips. But not, I haven't had it for a very, very long while now. Yeah, decent. London. Oh, I don't know. Like, really, where would you go? It's a nice fish and chip shop at the Old Pond. I know that in Cheshunt. Does it there? Always find that the old fish and chip shops are always nicer along the coasts and things like that. Like, you know, rather than London. Yeah, that was ridiculous. I tell you what was more ridiculous, Dom, is that they brought him on in the 88th minute on the weekend as well. Like, you know, so you know, it's totally ridiculous. I think they play tomorrow night. I think when did they play? It might be tonight they're playing. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Are Brazil playing tonight? I think they're playing. I think they're playing Peru. It's either tonight or tomorrow that they're playing. And I'll be honest. I hope that he's not playing. Jesus. The charlatans keeping him out of the team at the moment, and from a selfish point of view, I'm not too disappointed by that. Like, you know, if I'll be really honest. Scotland getting a little bit better in this. This is maybe suiting England though, because they can defend it well and then like can hit them on the break. But it'd be interesting to see that. Scotland are going to make a couple of substitutions now. So we'll see what happens there. Like, you know, Scotland won't want to lose this game, and will, you know, if they could come back now and get a draw out of this, they'd be, you know, they'd bite your hand off for it. But England, I've got to say, still carrying a threat. And it'd be interesting to see how it goes. Scotland have, as I say, started this second half a little bit more aggressively. Kieran Tierney on the ball now. Plays it back to Gunn. The only one that's been really quiet, is, like from England's point of view, has been Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been very, very quiet. That's not to say that, you know, he's had a bad game. I just don't think he's had the service quite at the moment. We'll have to see, you know, but he's always likely to nick a goal, isn't he? Like, you know, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Declan Rice still on the pitch at this moment in time. I'll bet you that he plays the whole game. He'll take Rashford off in a minute and put Saka on or someone like that. You watch. You know, do we really want to 2-0 up? Do I want to see Saka today? No, I don't. I don't want to see Saka play at all tonight. You know, I don't even want to get in 5 minutes. I know that he gets another international cap, that looks good and everything like that. But from a pure selfish point of view, I do not want to see him come on. Don't know if there's any Tottenham fans in the chat. Would you want Maddison coming on today? You probably wouldn't either. So that's the way I see it at this moment in time. And Scotland are going to make 2 changes now. Who's coming off? Interesting to see who's coming off there. Scotland must be a little bit disappointed what with the performance today, have not been at their best. They're hiding around the fact that it's a friendly, and the biggest part of their job was Friday, which is true. But England, of course, have made a few changes here tonight, and they're putting a really, really good performance. So it'll be interesting to see how they view that. Really, been a bit better Scotland now, building it up through the lines, but with no real purpose. Somebody losing the ball there to Bellingham, out to Rashford. Rashford now can open his legs. Tackle. Playing some lovely intricate stuff. England and hustling and winning the ball on the edge of the box there. Harry Kane trying a little dink, get a little deflection there. Tierney on him. It just comes off for Tierney's knee. It's going for. Oh, yeah, he's got some tattoos, that one. Look at that one. So Adams is coming off. She's coming off here. So Christie's coming on. He's caused a few problems to teams in the past. So and Billy Gilmore, the one that they was giving all the praise to, coming off. They said he was going to dominate the midfield. Really hasn't done that much today. He's coming off. And they're going to look to Indian Dykes as well. So they've got a little bit more attacking. See what happens here, With an hour nearly gone now. I've got to say it now. I still don't think Ramsdale's had a shot to save. Trying to get through England's midfield. England's midfield today has been solid. I have to say that. It's been hard to get through the lines there. Foden working hard there, as you see. He's been more of the central while Bellingham. To be honest, Foden's sort of been just saying, play wherever you want, but just get over to the right hand side when you can. Very, very interesting. We've not been able to get down this left hand side at all, really. Kieran Tierney now plays it inside, good ball. Again, England hustling well. Scotland's keeping the ball, but I think England are not too phased by that. This moment of times. Again, trying to force the thing in Ramsdale easily out there, and company picks it up there. He, of course, for Brentford, of course, he plays for. You know what, the England games, and it's England games, it's a little bit harsh, really. I think most international football isn't very, very good. I actually watched the Wales game yesterday, or bits of it, and that was a difficult watch as well. So all tough at the moment to see what's going on there. Italy now 2, Ukraine 1. Yarmolenko has got one just before half time, so it's 2-1 to Italy now. If Ukraine can get another goal, they would take that as a good international break for them, getting a point in England and a point against Italy, but they need to get another one at this moment in time, put a little bit of pressure on Italy, who've not really been that great since the Euros, if I'll be honest. Morton Hill North Macedonia 2. Norway still winning in Oslo by 2-0 against Georgia. Spain still winning 2-0 against Cyprus. Belgium now are 4-0 up on Estonia. Let's see if Trossard has scored. Trossard, yes, has scored, and Lukaku has scored 2 in the 56th and 58th minute. So Lukaku banging in goals for Belgium. Israel 0, Belarus 0, Romania 0, Kosovo 0, Sweden 0, Austria 2. Good result for Austria to go to Sweden, and looking like they're going to get a result. And Switzerland have scored against Andorra. Let's just quickly see if Granit Xhaka is playing in that game. He is, and he's captain of the team as well, and he has assisted in the goal. So Granit still doing the business for Switzerland despite leaving the mighty Arsenal. Rashford has been dangerous. Yeah, he has. And has it been a ball fest? I don't know about a ball fest. I think it's been not bad, but it's not been the greatest of games. I think if we'd be really honest about it, to make it a good game, a little bit more entertaining, we probably want Scotland to get a goal. But at this moment, I think it's been quite a comfortable and fairly decent performance from England. I don't like the international break because of it stops the Premier League. If I'll be honest, that's one of the things that I do think. But you know, I don't know how you guys are feeling about it now, but like for me, I think you know we're winning 2-0. All I want now is rice off. You know what I mean? That's all I want, like, you know what I mean? So it's just a funny thing, really. Like, you know, we've got a massive week of football coming up. Does he need to be playing 90 minutes in a friendly? You know, Gareth Southgate obviously feels that he probably does. So we'll have to wait and see. See what happens in that right now. England, you know, Scotland's still trying. Well, willing to come forward and try and make a difference, but they're in here. They get a shot off. A good bit of defending that, I think, from Harry Maguire. No, Dunk again. No, don't be silly, Lee. Don't be silly, Lee. It wasn't Harry Maguire. It was Lewis Dunk. And that's a lovely bit of play from him again, like, you know. But we haven't got that many good centre-halves playing. You know, the two now would be there. It'd be interesting to see what happens next squad around when realistically that's great defending. Done doing very well into the arms of Arsenal and England's number one, Aaron Ramsdale. We're getting to that stage now where you are looking at the bench and you're looking for what sort of substitutions are going to be made. Because don't get England, and not just England, Manchester United, England, Arsenal, just not Arsenal, just Manchester United as well. Manchester City with Foden and Walker have got big weeks coming up. So, you know, the Man City fans will be looking at Foden and they'll be looking at Walker, I suppose. Manchester United will definitely be looking at Rashford. And of course, we're looking at Declan Rice. You know, even Newcastle, you'd have to say, like with Trippier, you know, they didn't play in last week, would they want to see him playing 90 minutes? So the substitutions are going to be very interesting for me. See what happens. Good defending from Trippier again now, and we can break now with Rashford again if he goes. Right. 20, 30 yards. Good ball into Bellingham. Bellingham can't get the cross in. It's gone over for the goal kick now. But again, Scotland pushing, and then England just counter punching with the counter attacks. And it's a little bit more open now. Lovely ball that, by the way, from McTominay. McTominay's been played probably Scotland's best player at the moment. Charlotte goal, own goal, Harry Maguire, own goal, Harry Maguire, 2-1. He can't buy it by a break at the moment, Harry Maguire, can he? Like, you know what I mean? Lovely bit of play from McTominay in midfield, and the ball comes over. Great ball this from McTominay. Plays it into McGinn. Good turn from McGinn. Out wide it comes. Trippier can't get back. Oh, Harry Maguire, just can't go wrong, can it? Oh my. It just sums up Harry Maguire, doesn't it? Like, it just really just sums him up at this moment in time. Like, you know, unbelievable. Just, you know, he shouldn't be there, and it's getting that. But he never lets England down, does he? Like, you know. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. He'll have to be doing the washing up as well as the cars next week, like for Southgate, like, you know. Yeah, so to redeem himself from there, and listen, that can happen any time. That's not. I don't really say that it's his fault, and you blame him for that. But it just happens to be like, you know, the way it's going for him at this moment in time. It's just unbelievable, really. That, you know, Maguire was looking at Red. No, you can't blame Ramsdale for that. They try and blame him for that. I'm pretty sure, like that. You know, I mean, here comes Saka now. Can you believe that? Yeah, absolutely. I can't stand this Southgate. You know what I mean? Don't want him on, like, you know what I mean? It's a friendly Gareth. You know what I mean? Absolute joke. They're going to, you know, taking Rashford off, and I imagine Foden are going to come off here. I don't know how Bayern Munich are going to feel about it with Harry Kane playing all the time as well. Scotland now are really back in. It's good, to be honest. It's going to make it an interesting 20 minutes now to see what happens. If Scotland were to get another goal and equalising it, they'll look at that and go, "That's a good night's work for them," and be disappointed with the way things are going. Like, you know, so we'll have to wait and see. But at the minute, it's the tide has turned a little bit here, and Scotland very much substitutions from Scotland, by the way, have made an impact. So credit to their manager, Clark. He's made the substitutions, and he's got a reaction from them, because Scotland are now right on it here, and it'd be interesting now to see what Gareth Southgate does in turn. But at this moment in time, Scotland looking more likely. And causing us a few problems. So centre forwards come on, cause us a few problems. They've got a chance again. Cross coming there. McGinn was in with that one there. And I tell you what, if that was on target, that could have been dangerous. It's a great ball in there. And I tell you what, it's come off his shoulder. Luckily it did as well, like, because I tell you what, if he gets his head on that, I'm not seeing Ramsdale saving that like that. There's a chance that has gone there. You know, and this will be interesting now. So Foden coming off. I would imagine it would be Rashford, be the other one, yeah. And it is. So Saka comes on, and the two wide players coming off. So Izzy coming on as well. Like, you know, interesting that he gets a shout. Weirdly going to the left. Saka on the right, I would imagine. Yeah, up against Tierney. With 20 minutes to go. Declan Rice coming forward now. The last time we played it was 3-1, was 2-0 up, and then Scotland pulled one back and then won really. Made it 3-1. So interesting to see where this goes from there. Bit of a tentative touch from Ezzy there. His own. Eddie's not going to come on in this game, guys. He's just there to make up the numbers in training. He won't be in the next squad when players are back to fitness. I would imagine. I'm not sure. I don't know. There's no Grealish in the squad. Good save. Is he offside? Has the flag gone up there? I'm not sure. But Eze should have scored if it wasn't. No, so there's no flag there. That's interesting. So Eze was clean through there and probably should have scored. And that would have been a fantastic substitution from Southgate if it was like that. I mean, but definitely more entertaining the second half. I'll be honest. Scotland substitutions, as I said, have worked a little bit like, and that is a terrible miss then. It's going to have to go down as miss. We'll have to see that again. But he was clean through. It looked like, to have that amount of space, it's like poor defending or whatever there. So, I'd like to have seen him get that. That's a foul by Bayern Munich's Harry Kane. Unlucky. I don't know what he's nodding his head for there. It's 100% foul. There we go. You can't see from that angle there. It's a great first touch, by the way. Second, good save in the end, to be fair. First and second touch was good. The third one, perhaps not as good. It's not had a good moment for Eze in his first 5 minutes. He's now just been nutmegged. Bellingham on the ball now. Caught up there a little bit with Harry Kane, and that's it. And tackled by Harry Kane there. Bayern Munich's Harry Kane on McTominay. Been impressed with McTominay, he's got a midfield player there if he can manage him right. His position that he's played today, I think he's been very, very impressive. Him and McGinn, by the way, two good players for Scotland today. They've sort of pushed it forward a little bit in the second half, and again, McTominay winning the ball there, lost it again there to Trippier, but Walker now on the ball. Good first touch, now burst through. Minutes ago though, Declan Rice. Always looks like he's got time on the ball. Rice, good little ball from him there. Nice little interchange between Eze and Bellingham. I think that was there. That was good from Eze and Bellingham. Nice little bit of one-touch football. Starting with a good ball that from Declan Rice. Not that bias. So Scotland, attempts on target, none. As I suspected, they have not had a shot on target, but they've scored a goal. And that sums up Harry Maguire, doesn't it? To a T. Who's been England's best player tonight? That's a good question to go into the last 15 minutes with. Who has been England's best player? I think good performances from Dunk and Walker, I think. I thought Foden and Rashford done well. Declan Rice steady. Bellingham's done okay. No real standout though, if I'll be honest. No real standout. Would you say that? Rice or Rashford? Yeah, I think they've all done really well. I think Phillips has done okay, considering he's only had 6 minutes football. He must be tiring now. Yeah, he could have had a clean sheet today, Ramsdale, but we all knew that was in jeopardy when Harry Maguire came on. It must have been for an injury. He must have got injured or something really, or cautionary. I can't see why he was taken off because I quite liked what he was doing. Saka's just turned 10 in all over the shop there. And he gets a booking for his season. I think he must have surely known a few times in training that you don't deal with him. Look how strong Saka is there. Tin is a good defender, by the way. He didn't look silly there, Good ball out from Walker. Oh. Yeah, Rice is going to play the whole 2 games of this, with all those big games coming up there. That Southgate don't care about that. But I will say this about Rice as he drives forward. He is a machine. There's no 2 ways about that. He's a Rolls Royce of a player, isn't he? As is this player, Bellingham. But look, listen, we're moaning about it. Bellingham has played the whole 2 games as well, so Real Madrid wouldn't be happy about it. And Bayern Munich also with Harry Kane has played all the time as well. And you could say it about Walker. Walker is another one that Manchester City that's played. Some big games coming up, played all the time. Look at that from Declan Rice. Just look how good he is. That's quality, that is. Arsenal's Declan Rice. He's got to win it like that. I'm just going to go off 1 second and plug in the battery. Hello, Albert. Nice to see you joining in. And we're coming in with a tense sort of 10 minutes to go. Really, Scotland are pulling themselves back into this game. I'll tell you what, it's been quite an enjoyable second half. Of Scotland, I've got to say, have come into the game and pushed England back, and England now, the substitutions at this moment not made much of a difference. But Saka now against Robinson. Be careful, Robinson, because he is skinnier than that. He knows what he's doing to Zao Saka. And kept the ball really well. It's just a lovely player to watch, really, Saka. Lovely player to watch. Winning in English shirt, not as much for me, I'm afraid. I'm always worried something's going to happen. But Bellingham again, look at this. That's class. That is class from Bellingham. And that is a goal for Bayern Munich's Harry Kane. Scores a very, very good goal. And that was all down to Jude Bellingham. Absolute class. And that was unbelievable. Watch this. That is absolute class. And that is a fantastic goal. And Jude Bellingham there, look at that. It's not only that, it's the lovely little pass at the end of it. He does all of that. He's got 3 players around him. It's a lovely little 5-10 yard ball into Harry Kane with his sketchers on. By the way, done that advert at Waltham Abbey Football Club like that. That advert. He's over at Waltham Abbey. Doing the advert, and that is 3-1, and that is game over. Right, I'm expecting Declan Rice to be off this pitch now, and that is Harry Kane's first England goal under the Bayern Munich flag. Get in there, Harry, well done. And that is it. I think for that moment there, I'm with you, Don. I think that Bellingham wins man of the match now. Superb player, an absolute superb player, and made a big difference as he always does. I think he's a quality player, top. Lee really loves Kane deep down. No, I'll never love him, but I'll tell you what, I do rate him as a footballer. As much as I hate him for Spurs, because he was horrible when it came to scoring goals. I'm a big admirer of him as a footballer. There's no two ways about that. And Bayern Munich, I love that now. I absolutely love saying it, and I say it every single time now. Bayern Munich's Harry Kane, and it's great. I did see a couple of substitutions. I think Gallagher's going to come on. I bet he comes on for Phillips because Phillips has got to be rested being on the bench on Saturday. And when I think it was Wilson. So I bet Harry Kane, Bayern Munich's Harry Kane's going to come off here now. And I'll be really pissed if it's not. So he's taking Bellingham and Kane off. Can you believe this, Southgate? I cannot stand this man. Taking him off, but Declan Rice staying on the pitch. Bellingham coming off as well, Well, as I said, Eddie's there to make up the numbers. This is it, There we go, Southgate, Well, I just can't stand him. He's going, I love it. Keep running these Arsenal players down. Run them into the ground. No need to bring Saka on, and certainly now get Rice off, But you're getting Bellingham off, and you've got Harry Kane off, you know what I mean? But Rice is still there. So who's the only player now? Walker and Rice are the two players. Is that correct? Can someone else inform me that they're the only two that have played the whole 180 minutes? Rice and Walker, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. No one else. Harry Maguire captain it now, is he like that? No. I've always forgiven me. Yeah, so it's just those two. I think, when Southgate got roasted so many times by Thierry Henry, they called him chicken, and he's just never forgiven it for it, and that's why he must hate Arsenal. So Walker and Declan Rice, the only two players that have played the fact he's played 90 minutes in a friendly. The next time we play in a poxy friendly, Arteta, you make sure you tell him he ain't going. Make a little fake injury or something like that. I've had enough of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it, happen again. Next time, you pull out. Thank you very much. Pull out. Absolutely ridiculous that he's played the whole game. We're 3-1 up, Southgate, in a friendly, and you've got him on there. And Man City fans as well, I'll be getting the ump and all, we will get in the ump with this fucking Southgate. I can't stand him. I cannot stand him, you know what I mean? Piece of fucking shit you are. The day he gets sacked, I'm telling you that now, I am going to crack open a bottle of champagne, you know what I mean? He could bring on Madison now, who's going to be nice and free. He ain't got Champions League football next week. You know what I mean? He's just got to play he's got a week off. You know what I mean? There's no fault about it, just a selfish, rotten, horrible manager. You know what I mean? This is what we're saying, It could be bringing him getting him two off now. I'm not just saying it's Rice. Walker as well should not be playing 90 minutes in a friendly when you've got Champions League football coming up. You know what I mean? So we go to the last 4 minutes now. Scotland 1, England 3. It's just run through the scores for you on the doors in the other games. So it's Ukraine and Italy. Is Italy 2, Ukraine 1. I'm just going to check up and see how long if Shevchenko has come off. Yeah, after 75 minutes. So Ukraine manager doing the right thing in a qualifier has taken Shevchenko off because he, like, has got an absolute lovely relationship with the manager there. And we've got a piece of shit in Southgate, a piece of rotten shit in him. Malta 0, Macedonia 2. Norway are still winning 2-0. So that means Scotland are not going to qualify tonight. Spain 6-0 up on Cyprus. They've not had a good week against Cyprus. 3-0 defeat to Scotland, and now 6-0 to Spain with 3 or 4 minutes to go there. Belgium 4, Estonia 0 at this moment in time. Let's see if Trossard has come off. Trossard's come off after 66 minutes. Belgian manager being very, very kind. Switzerland now 2-0 up. Granit Xhaka scored in the 84th minute there. Still 0-0 between Romania and Kosovo. And Austria now beating Sweden by 3-0. Belarus and Israel is 0-0 as well. So we are going into the last couple of minutes. Another couple of substitutions. So, Rice and Walker. Everton's Patterson's come on for the last few minutes before he plays, of course, against the Arsenal. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that Rice and Walker have played the whole game this time around. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like that now, if I'm Declan Rice, you just walk around, mate. Havertz has come on in a friendly, as he like, you know what I mean? So, been rested a little bit. Like, Ghana play today, and obviously without what's that, the under 21s. France versus Germany. I'm just going to go to that game. It's something about. Taking that's in Germany. William Saliba is playing at the moment in that friendly, and so the team that's gone in that game. Saliba looks like he's going to be playing 90 minutes as well, and now Saka's gone down with an injury. That sums it all up. Should be okay. You think about, poor Eddie, going all that media stuff, like, and the manager knows he's not going to give him 1 minute. Like, what a piece of shit Southgate is really. Like, I mean, he really likes him. Like, just telling you, I've got no time for him. What are you doing to get into tackle? Don't you dare go into a tackle now, Beckham. Do you just let them run around you fair? 3 minutes to go. Which has been, to be honest, apart from Southgate, it's been a decent England performance. A nice 3-1 win. the end of it there. Ramsdale's played 90 minutes for England, hasn't been really tested that much as we go in for a minute left. I'll tell you what though, I know that Walker and Declan Rice have gone on and played like that 180 minutes on both games. You have to say that they're both very, very fit boys, aren't they? Like that, machines really. Like that. Albert, shout out to Lewis Dunk tonight. Yeah, he's been brilliant tonight. He played really, really well, and showed that with playing Premier League games that you get that little bit of defensive sharpness, and there's been very, very good back there, like and we've got Saka do not chase that. So, like Saka making one like that now, which winds me up. And that is the end of that. England have won by 3-1. I think it's been a very, very good performance. Deserved win all in all. And there you go. So Harry Maguire come on and try to. I think the name Maguire. Maybe he's got Scottish relatives, trying to give him a bit of fun and everything like that. But the likes of Maddison didn't come on today. They hardly plays for England. But when there's a friendly, doesn't get the chance. I think that he probably deserves, to be fair. But there you go. That's what happens. But at the end of the day, a good, solid England performance. I have to say that, Rice, outstanding in the midfield. Bellingham, 2 shoe-ons for the midfield. Going forward for the next 5, 6, 7 years for England, been outstanding. The pair of them, and I'm really, Jude Bellingham just gets better and better as it goes on. It's an unbelievable thing with Jude Bellingham. As good as he is, he's probably never going to play in the Premier League. And unbelievable that really at this moment in time is. Doesn't look like he's going to play in the Premier League. Unbelievable that part. Foden did score, but he can't nail down a position in this team. I'm afraid for himself. I think he's a backup player at the most. Grealish will come back into the squad as well at some stage. But listen, guys, thanks for joining, and I hope you've had a good time. Look, thanks for everybody that's been watching over these last 2 watch-alongs. It's been a real pleasure doing them, and I've really enjoyed it. It's made it a little bit more entertaining for me, so I thank you. Thank you for all the guys in the chat making a contribution, asking questions as well, and getting involved. So it's made these 2 hours go very, very quickly for me. So I thank you very much for that. And listen, we'll be back in the weeks. I don't know when yet. Getting ready for the Arsenal-Everton game, and of course after that we'll be looking to do something we've not done for a little while. Champions League preview. We look forward to that as well. So listen, have a good night. Sleep well, everybody. Take care. And I will see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. England have won against Scotland by 3-1.